Spectacular day, everyone! I am Melody Passion and I am your reporter for today's lesson. So for today's lesson, I will be discussing about bias and unbiased language. These are the examples of biased language. Number 1, making fun of the accents of Filipinos from other provinces. Number 2, assuming that students from private schools are smarter than students from public schools. Number 3, thinking that all women should marry, have children, and become housewives. Number 4, avoiding tourists from Middle Eastern countries because they smell bad. Number 5, choosing all fair-skinned models over morenas to promote a brand. These sentences are all biased and offensive because the communicator is not sensitive enough to avoid offensive remarks. In order to avoid bias and offensive remarks, we should: number 1, communicator must be responsible and sensitive enough. Number 2, to avoid offensive remarks towards an individual or particular group of people. Number 3, message must be free of any stereotype. Number 4, must avoid using slurs or pejorative language. Are you familiar with slurs and pejorative language? Slurs is a slanderous insult based on stereotypes, and pejorative is insulting, verbally abusive. Below are some tips to ensure that you are unbiased language. Number 1, use name or labels that individuals or group choose for themselves. Therefore, you must carefully assist your audience. Example, the local schools has accepted half-breed for years now to increase its population. Explanation: half-breed is an offensive word for a person whose parents are of different races. A more polite expression is a person of mixed race. Example, when Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas, the Indians were already living there. Explanation: although the native people of America were once referred to as Indians, it is no longer acceptable for anyone outside of their community to call them as such. Instead, they should be referred to as Native Americans or by the specific name of their peoples. Number 2, do not mention group membership unnecessarily. If a person's affiliation is not relevant to your point, do not mention it. Example, the Asian first grade English teacher gave fewer assignments than my second grade English teacher did. Explanation: the use of the qualifier Asian is not necessary in the comparison of the two teachers. It suggests racial bias. Example, the female driver who caused the build-up of traffic by running a red light wastes a lot of people time. Explanation: in this sentence, the gender of the driver is unrelated to the point being made. The fact that female was used as qualifier shows gender bias. Number 3, be aware of words that certain groups of people find negative or offensive and avoiding using them. This includes racist, sexist, ableist, homophobic, etc. and slurs. Example, The government has opened a new clinic for the disabled. Explanation. Using the collective terms the disabled to refer to people with disabilities is considered offensive, as it reduces the person to only his or her disabilities. The word disabled should be used as an adjective, disabled, adjective rather than a noun. Example. Because I'm taking up business management, I have a lot of classmates who are chinks. Explanation. Chinks is highly offensive slur against people of Chinese descent. Slurs are as these are looked up upon in civilized discourse and are likely to cause conflicts between the communicator and his or her audience. A communicator must never use such words. Proceed to the next lesson. Gender-neutral language. Communicators should be careful not to favor a certain gender when constructing sentences. Another form of unbiased language is a gender-neutral language. In order for us to understand deeper the lesson. Example number 1. Each intern should record daily what he learns in the workplace. Number 2. Each intern should record daily what he or she learns in the workplace. Explanation. In the first sentence, the pronoun he is used even though an intern could also be female. The use of a masculine pronoun to refer to a common noun used to be common practice. However, such usage is no longer acceptable at present as it shows bias against women. On the other hand, the second sentence shows no bias in gender. The pronouns he and she are used to recognize both genders. Example number 1. More unmarried women than ever before are having babies. 2. More unmarried couples than ever before are having babies. Explanation. The first sentence is biased toward unmarried woman. It implies that the pregnancy is solely the woman's doing. On the other hand, the sentence is neutral because of the use of the collective terms couples. Example number 1. Now, more than ever, mankind needs to take care of the earth as it is slowly dying. Number 2. Now, more than ever, people need to take care of the earth as it is slowly dying. Explanation. The usage of masculine terms like mankind as generic terms is considered biased. The terms should be replaced with humans, human beings, humankind, or people.